Coming to you live from the sunburnt country. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to this very special Sunday edition of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I am your father. It's better than church. This is our church, the podcast. So I'm Father Log. I have a hangover, and dudes, how are you? I don't know.
You're gonna hangover. I thought that introduction was a little bit lackluster.
Yeah,
is that why?
Yeah.
You're a bit hungover.
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm more than a little bit. I'm actually so bad that I'm having a beer to try to drink my way out of a hangover.
Hair of the fucking dog. Hair of the dog. Man.
Drink your way out of it.
No, I went down to
That's
Sydney
always
last
the way.
night and had my work Christmas party on a cruise and all this sort of crap. So it was a big one.
Was it all expenses paid by the company, all the booze, or was it what?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
therein lies the issue. It was good, man. I didn't know they put fireworks on, like at Luna Park every night leading into Christmas. They just blow shit up. So we're out in a boat looking at that. It was pretty rad. So
That's
cool.
would recommend. Yeah,
Luna
and it was great because. I mean, Liz, the lady that organised it for work, we were all like, "Oh, how did you organise the fireworks, Liz?" And I reckon by the end of the night, she was just sick to fucking death of hearing about it.
She just started
talking about the fucking fireworks, you drunken idiots.
Fireworks. It's not funny. It wasn't funny when your mate said it. It's not funny when you said it. Fuck off.
Oh, I would have thought you just accepted.
Nah,
Yeah,
she-
I organised the fireworks over Sydney. It was completely me.
No, it was good. It was a good night. Me and Rach had a good night. So yeah. Anyway, that's why we had to remove the cast, and I feel like a bit of a dick. So anyway,
I mean, the positive side is my Saturdays feel so relaxed without the podcast. I'm like, I've got nothing to do today. like I've actually, and I already finished like videos for next week as well. So damn it, we've got nothing to do. We ended up going to the shops and like just dealing with hordes of people trying to get some Christmas shit. But yeah, I've had a very relaxing weekend, and this week got to get a little bit high level on the testicles, and got carried through hard on Last Wish Raid by Jugs and Ninja and Pidgey. That Log came along, Chucky came along, and they realized what I did last time, which was sweet nothing. And like,
You know what?
Look, do you understand what happened in that encounter? No idea. We just shoot ads.
it was funny because I didn't realise. Like, I thought it was just our usual crew that was running it, and I came in and I'm like, oh shit, like running it with Ninja's crew, like Joel. They're all Jugs mates anyway, so it's good. And I'd not met them before, and I was, I had a few beers before I jumped on, and I mean, there was sort of like a really useful half of the raid in Ninja, Jug, and Pidgey, and then sort of the rest of us. But Matt, I think you did us proud. Me and Chook, not so much.
Oh my god, Chucky is so. So you know that. I don't know if you've heard this lot, but the very first, like before you even get to the first encounter, that jump just to cross a chasm.
Yeah.
We were on that.
We were there for fucking 10 minutes.
Probably about at least 15 minutes watching Chucky because he doesn't normally use a hunter, and everyone's just telling him to jump from like the furthest part. You can't make it even with the triple jump. And he's just dying, and there was like a little bit of lag, so it just looked like he was just running straight off the edge. Yeah, we're like, Chucky, are you jumping? Are you sprinting? Are you pressing the space bar?
But basically, you guys are pricks for stirring him up, and B, Chook, you need to get better at the game. You fucking mummy.
My favourite part of the whole thing was when Matt went, I'll come over and help you, and I'll get you res, and then stood so close to the edge that when he resed him, he just kept knocking him off, and there was nothing Chook could do about it. And that was about 3 minutes of Chook had about 60 deaths before we even started the raid.
Yeah.
Before his shot was fired.
We wouldn't be doing Petra's challenge with Chooky, that's for sure.
I'm sure at that point, Ninja and Jug were like, oh man, we're going to be here for a fucking long time.
Yeah.
It was good. I completely undeservingly got the 1K voices too, so now that they're getting that far.
On your second run, Log gets 1,000 voices on his second run.
I'm still sitting here every night, like going to bed, going, oh, so furiosa, and they haven't fucking happened yet, but at least I got something cool out of the fucking game for a change. That I got the one-eyed mask. I got the one-eyed mask through the week as well. I actually had 2 of it drop on the one night, which is, thanks, Destiny. That's great. 2 of the same thing. Anyway, how have you been, Slothy McSloth?
Last couple of days have been pretty rough. Obviously, with the passing of my my old dog this week, was a bit rough on the family and all that sort of thing, but we got back into it. And I'm remembering the good times, remembering the good times that we had in the last 14 years.
How old was Ella?
14.
That's a pretty fucking good run for a dog, especially a big dog, it's always sad, man. But, and Bundy's dog passed through the week as well, only yesterday. So there's a few puppers out there that we're going to be pouring one out for. And
so it's sad, but I mean, they're both in better places now. So to Boof and Ella, they're in a better place. But then Friday went for a wine tasting with my wife. Came back, and I was like, I'm just going to have an hour's nap or something like that. And 4 hours later, I woke up. I was supposed to start streaming to it. Fuck it, whatever. Went back to sleep.
What? So you're on a normal sleep schedule now?
No, he just woke up. He literally just woke up.
I legitimately just woke up. Yeah, and then the yesterday, just before the remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Owen crossed over Townsville, I decided to mow all the three quarters of an acre of the property that we have here with a hand mower. So I am fucked. I am completely and utterly wrecked.
Dude. Is it bad that I just imagined comically your leg getting caught underneath the mower or something? Your prosthetic leg?
Well,
I'm sorry, that's the first thing. I just imagine something on his gear, just hella happy mowing on his lawn, walking around there, and then I don't know, some sort of practical joke. Throw his leg under the mower.
We get a really bad track history on this podcast with mowers because I nearly fucking killed myself on my ride-on before I sold it.
Did you?
Yeah, I fucking did.
Did you?
No, the brake gave out on it and I fucking went backwards through our fence at about fucking 30 k's an hour.
Really?
And Rach came running out because I went through a fucking galvanized fence. I mean, the biggest bang you've ever heard, like the back of my head and shit. And Rach's first words were, "Are you all right?" It was, "What have you done?"
Dude, I mean, so there's something funny about crashing a ride-on mower, surely. Once you were fine.
Once I realised that I'd stopped short of the fucking 15-foot embankment, that it probably would have killed me, but I stopped short of it. I just sat there for a minute and I'm literally on top of a fucking galvanised fence paling and the mower, and I'm like, oh, fuck, how am I going to get it back up the hill? Yeah. Anyway.
Is your property on a hill, is it?
Yeah. It's pretty steep. It's a dumb place for a ride on. Now I know.
I realized that for the first time. Sydney's very like vertical, man.
Yeah, it's a
Like
dog.
I didn't realize how vertical it is until I was sort of stayed there last time I was over there. I was like, wow, there's a heaps of overpasses, underpasses, and pedestrian passes.
It's
I'm like,
batshit, man.
like, it's
And
stuff going everywhere.
it's batshit. It's just buildings
You
on
need
top
to
of
open
buildings
your
on
eyes
top
to
of
the
car
rest of
parks.
the country, not in your own little fucking bubble over there on the western side.
I know, he seems happy enough. He should stay there, man. Like,
Stay over there, you
Look,
there's not much positive I can say about Sydney. It's
I'm
Do you like
happy
spending
over
lots of
here,
money?
and I'm not hurting anybody, so just leave me alone, okay?
Just leave me alone, Dad.
All right, we've done 10 minutes of just pure and utter shit talk, so we should probably get into actually talking about fucking Destiny, eh? You reckon?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies,
Yeah, sure.
ladies and gentlemen, the TWAB summary of this week, the 16th of December 2018. Play the thing log, you fuckhead.
Thank you. Good.
Fantastic. Black Armory Investigations, the scourge of the past, 24-hour completion. We're currently investigating an issue where qualifying players were not properly rewarded the scourge of nothing emblem, nor the associated best of the best triumph for completing the raid within 24 hours. Once addressed, players will be properly accredited and receive appropriate rewards.
That's a bit of a slap in the face, right? Like,
It'd be-
a little bit.
I mean, like not many people get that. Or maybe, do we know how many completions there were in the first 24 hours?
I haven't looked into it. Honestly, I
I
haven't
would
looked
like
into
to
it,
know
but
that.
I know it was a lot quicker raid than I'd say there'd probably be thousands. So there's a bit there to catch up on for Bungie, but at the same time, like that they're not going to forget about it. You're going to get it eventually. It's not like you've come runner
hold
up
on.
Viv
Did you
of the
get your
week
thing
twice.
in the end? Have you got your thing now, Log?
Nah, it's fine.
You still don't have your. You still don't have your emblem.
Just shut up, Matt. I'm sad about it.
Log has been the bridesmaid on fucking this week of Bungie twice now, and he still hasn't got his creator's emblem. Fix it, Bungie!
No,
Fix it!
don't deserve it.
No,
Anyway, move on.
Don't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, the revive tokens. We are currently investigating an issue where tokens are not removed appropriately when reviving teammates. This issue has been present since the launch of Destiny 2, but reproducing the issue for investigation has proven difficult. In Scourge of the Past, this seems to be occurring much more frequently. If you have encountered this issue, please post a report to the help forum detailing your experience. Now, Bungie, we love you.
This sounds like
We
a
love you.
heavy ammo kind of issue, you know, like where this is like it's deep in the code. It's so deep, we don't know where it is.
Bungie, we love you, but if you're expecting people to fucking post a report about how they replicated the issue of the forever respawn in a raid, you are pushing shit uphill, my friends. You are
I hope there's
pushing
no
shit
reports for it
uphill.
ever. I hope no one ever reports it.
do you know what would be the funniest thing is someone makes a really detailed report and then Bungie thanks them with their gamer tag. Like I'm gonna work out exactly what it is and then post it as real time sloth. And they'd be like, oh, thank you to real time sloth for solving the greatest issue of the token revives.
You could be that or the guy who like finally got the Nightfall bug fixed. You'd be equally hated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then go fuck yourself, Matt. Black Armory forges the missing weapon frames. We're currently aware of an issue where weapon frames may be lost from inventory. We have identified the cause and are currently developing a fix. Until resolved, we highly recommend holding on to only one weapon frame from a specific forge in inventory at any given time.
it seems like a random one too, because I was playing with Kegi the other night and he had two in his inventory and completed one and it didn't do anything. I was like, mate, stop. Like, what are you doing?
Stop trying to multitask.
And he was just like, stop trying to get the most out of your time. But it didn't happen to him, so I guess it's one of those intermittent things that's going to be a pain in the ass.
it's a 50-50, I think, so whatever. Just hang on to one weapon frame, guys. High value targets. To unlock the Go Fan and Forge, players must defeat a high value target on Nessus for a specific quest step. Currently, the only player who lands the finishing blow is credited with defeating the enemy. We are currently
just ask Log about his
We
experience.
did the raid, and I was admittedly I'd had a few beers and whatever, and it was late, and I just wanted to get all the shit leading into Gofannon Forge done because I've had a busy week, so I haven't had that much time to catch up on it. Man, can we not have fucking quest steps that rely on the general blueberries of destiny to not fuck them up for me? Like the one where I had to do the cryopod heroic with the fallen cryopod, and I did it fucking 4 times, and they just kept killing it. They wouldn't let me do the heroic. And I am generally
just
not
melting the bosses before you can get the heroic out.
It got to the point where I had to get Matt and Jug to come in just to, I'm like, fucking help me not kill the thing, but just to
just body block. Just body block. Body block people throwing novas and stuff at them.
And then I did the rest of it. I got up to the high value target, and there's fucking 8 people just standing around on those crates and waiting for it. And admittedly, I didn't get it the first couple of times it popped up. It was basically a high value target has appeared, a high value target dropped its loot. Or whatever it is. I'm like, fuck it, I didn't even see it. And then I'm blowing up to Matt. And I'm like, this is shit. And then
you were proper filthy.
Yeah, I was probably the most pissed off I've been at Destiny in years, really. And then it dropped back. A few people left because they'd obviously been the people who just smoked had the HVT. And then there's this one guy, and I don't know what he was doing, but here's the high value target turns up, and he's just wailing on it with a hand cannon, wailing on it. He got it to it first and all of that, and I'm just like, fuck this. I just supered it, killed it, and then left. I'm done. Bye. I felt bad, man. I felt bad.
I'm pretty sure as you did your missile strike as a tie, and you were just screaming, sorry!
just flying through the air, just going, ooh.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, but I.
Man, it fucking killed me. I was so angry. But I think it's one of those things. It's kind of when you think about it, it's a bit of a. It's not necessarily a design flaw, and I think things like that can be in the game. But when it's something that other people can so clearly fuck up, like that cryopod one was what really broke me. It was difficult. Why wouldn't you want to do a fucking heroic public event anyway? Why would you want to do the shit one? I don't get it. Anyway, just angry.
Don't all right. Don't question the brain capacity of blueberries, because sometimes.
I understand that it's incredibly varied. You get the good ones, you get the bad ones.
Varied is a good point. From the postmaster, we have identified an issue where ballistics logs and modulus reports do not recover to the postmaster. We're currently developing a fix for the issue, targeted to release in January. Until resolved, players should ensure that they have the appropriate space in the inventory under pursuits and consumables. I really like this word.
What word?
Fastidious miser. Fastidious miser. Fastidious.
I don't know what it means, but I know that whoever has that title has a curly mustache.
You know what? I posted on Twitter a picture of my new glasses and all that sort of thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, it looks good. Sloth looks good," or "Go fuck yourself," or anything like that. The usual shit. And
did I miss that? I didn't write anything mean spirited to you. I'm gonna have to go and dig it out.
No, you didn't. I was actually like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But Chook goes, "That is one hirsute watermelon," and I was like, "Today I learned what hirsute means."
Hairy.
Because all I imagine was this fucking watermelon. Because I know I've got a pretty large head and I've got a fucking 19 forehead. But just imagine a watermelon that is like a Labrador's coat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Today I learned hirsute. Fastidious miser There is currently an issue where some players are unable to unlock the fastidious Miser Triumph, even when fulfilling requirements. We've identified the root clause.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. But this issue will not be addressed next week. We're currently planning for a fix to be deployed in January. Just be aware, guys, that a lot of the things that we're like, a lot of the issues and bug reports and all that sort of thing, it's not going to be fixed until January.
Yeah, it sounds
Probably
like people are taking some time off,
Yeah, people are already starting to take time off, guys. So just if you're worried about bugs or exploits or glitches or whatever, be aware it's probably going to take until like post Australia Day, January, before it gets fixed because people are taking time off.
It's one of those reminders that's like, everyone's on holidays, so everyone starts playing video games, but the people who make video games also got to take holidays. So it's like, it's one of those industries where you're like, why do you fix my game? Because most people do.
Because I'm a human being and I have a family, so fuck you too.
I haven't seen my family because I've been working 80-hour weeks with crunch time to get you,
Next 2.1.3 preview next week, we're deploying an update to address various issues in the game and bring a few minor quality of life updates into the fold. Players under 600 power will begin to receive high-powered rewards when completing director challenges. Developer commentary. This change is being made to build upon the changes of 2.1.2, where we increased power rewards from Prime engrams. Fixing an issue where players did not receive the Harbinger's Echo Sparrow when destroying all the Ahamkara eggs in the city. Fixing an issue in the Dreaming City, rather. Fixing an issue where players who joined an in-progress Forge activity would not receive rewards.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
You don't get the rewards if you end up joining mid-match.
Oh.
And you like,
and coupled with that,
I always join mid-match. Like I've got so many mid-match joins in the Forges.
I guess if you solo queuing, you're probably relatively likely to bump into that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, when you have people to play with, find people to play with. Guys, I'm going to go off on a tangent here.
Oh, no.
Not a rant. Not a rant. Just a tangent.
Hang on. Can we just go back 1 second and just recognize the fact that Sloth literally just did the Drake fucking pose?
I'm going to let you finish. Oh, no. I thought you meant Kanye. I'm going to let you finish. But let me tell you about this.
Don't you compare me to that fucking numpty.
Mate, you're a meme on legs. Leg. Anyway, move on.
Leg, thanks. No, Destiny is you do what it is that makes you happy. If you want to solo play, if you only want to do PvP, you only want to do PvE or whatever. That's your choice. But I think personally, if you're not playing with friends, and some people really struggle with making friends or talking over mic or whatever. I understand that. That is something to do with up here, and not everyone can get over it as easily as some other people. But what I'm saying is that if you can try and play Destiny with friends, honestly, it is a 100% a better experience if you play with friends. You've probably heard this on from several other casters and all that sort of thing. If at all possible, try and get into a clan. Pluggo, Terra Australis, always looking for new people to come and play with.
I think we're full.
Okay, we're full, but Mylands, there are clans out there that are very active and they play a lot of various amount of activities and all that sort of thing. So there's that. But you are, I do fully believe that you are missing out if you play by yourself. Now, you don't have to play with close friends. I'm very lucky that I've got these two knuckleheads to come and play games sometimes when they're not doing content creation or, riding the lawnmowers through galvanized steel fences. But I do honestly think you are missing out if you're not playing with people that you enjoy.
I think so. But on the note of I guess adding matchmaking, I've done most of my forges solo, to be honest, and have been able to complete them. They're definitely possible.
Because when you play, I'm asleep because I'm a fucking vampire and Lob's at work because he's a.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I've played during the day, but it's definitely like I've done a couple in a team as well, and it feels good when you've got everyone coordinated and you've got like coordinated supers and you're all standing in a well and you're all using whisper shots and the boss is actually looking at you and you don't have one person like
Just
especially
random.
go Fannin because it's like the servitor, so you want him facing the right way because you can get precision shots really easy on him. And you go one person just over in one corner and so he's facing me like, great, now I can't use whisper, so I've got to run over there. But it's still like the matchmaking, apart from joining mid-match that I've had happen a fair few times, like it's definitely possible now, and like it's the light requirement's not too hard that you can get it consistently if you
are 600, if you started this content release at 600, even if you've only been playing a few hours a week, you've probably at least gotten up to 608, 609. And with a decent team, or if you go in with the matchmaking, you should be able to complete it. And if you can't, legitimately, Ets has posted into the live chat, but for the people who are watching on YouTube and listening, the 100.io, DestinyLFG.net, and Discord, Destiny Reddit, like there are good places to start for people to help out, and even jump into the Discords of your favorite casters if you do watch Twitch as well.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Yeah,
cool.
They're good places to start.
Good pleasant tangent, Sloth. Fucking 10 out of 10, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes
whenever
I'm not
Sloth
an
pulls the
arsehole.
handbrake of like, I've got something I want to say, I'll just sit here and I'm like, here we go again. But then sometimes it's like, wow, you're a wholesome, kind man and very loving, and that's very nice. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ish. Fixing an issue where weapon frames would be removed from inventories and completely different forge. Yeah. We have a fix planned for 2.1.3 to address issues affecting the damage from the 1,000 voices on PC.
I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. Is this like been a commonly known thing, or is this?
And you know what? It just makes me happy that this motherfucker at the bell end up here got his 1,000 voices on his second goddamn run, and now it's being nerfed. So shut up.
It's all right, man. You'll get it one day. Dream.
Yeah, I know.
Dream big.
Right now, there is an issue where the weapon is doing more damage than intended at higher frame rates on PC. After update 2.1.3, functionality will match between all platforms.
So what does that mean? What does that mean, higher frame rate? So like, even on PC, like if you're running like 120 frames per second and I'm running 60, does that mean you do more damage as well?
I have no idea, but I'm going to say yes. Is this why you're better at the game than me? Is this why you get all the kills because of the frames? I don't even know. Yeah, apparently it does. There we go.
Okay, there you go. Fixing an issue where Season 5 shaders dismantled slowly.
Let's go back to that thing. So this is like the ultimate I told you so frames per second, like elitist kind of argument, like going, that person's always like, I can't believe you don't play max frames, unlimited frames per second. You're like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, whatever. Now, like, I told you.
You know what?
My 1,000 voices is doing 2 billion damage because I'm running a
1,000 frames a second.
Okay, you could run Destiny and have unlocked frames be running 500,000 frames per second onto the chart. But guess what? The people who've got it locked at 60, like me, our GPUs are going to last longer, so go fuck yourself, all right? Because they're not working as hard.
Oh, I think we can give fuckwit of the week to 1,000 voices being unlimited by frames. That's fuckwit of the week this week. It's an inanimate object. Anyway.
Yes. Fixing an issue where players who did not earn the Crucible solemnity shader, thank you, could not complete the Crucible badge, and fixing an issue where players could not retrieve clan XP rewards from Hawthorne under circumstances.
Do you know what, like, when I read this kind of stuff, I'm just like, I never pay that much attention to have noticed any of this happening ever. Do like, I'm not that kind of player. I would be like, oh, like I would, there's obviously people out there that play this game and love this game that would notice like these things going wrong and like reporting these issues. That's not me.
Yeah, it's not me either. My attention to detail is fucking atrocious.
I guess I get it because when something goes wrong, like in the law, like obviously I'm on that straight away. So this is just people's other bread and butter,
Yeah, good point,
Matty.
mate. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, sorry. That was a bit open ended. I didn't really have it. It didn't have a beginning, middle, or end. It was general stuff.
It was just sort of like my attention to detail is pretty bad sometimes. Okay.
If it's not law related, he's out, man.
There you go.
Out. All right. Veterans of the Hunt bundle. One's an update. 2.1.3 has been deployed. Players should expect to receive this package later in the day. Stay tuned for updates. Veterans of the Hunt. I must have missed something there. What is that about?
You get 2 exotic. And this is if you've had Forsaken before October 16th. You receive Veterans of the Hunt, and you get a unique emblem, which is like a tiger/panther sort of deal, a unique shader. You get 2 exotic emotes, the coin flip, like the Gambit coin flip, and the knife trick emote, which I think is like the Petrovenge
Balancing a knife.
Oh, okay.
Knife.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's not Petrovenge knife. Maybe it's just a normal like hunter knife flip.
So basically, they're rewarding early adopters of Destiny 2 or early adopters of Forsaken. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean they did spruik it back in the
Nice.
day when they were saying that they were going to do it, and it's finally coming around.
That's nice. That's nice. As covered last week, heavy ammo changes will also be applied to the competitive playlist in the Crucible. No, that's good. I like it. Yeah, fair enough. Holiday calendar, ladies and gentlemen, Mayhem. It begun on the December 11th, 2018. It ends on December 25th, 2018.
So I don't know about you guys, but I thought, you know what? Maybe this is my chance to get that pinnacle Crucible weapon. I'm just going to take in Colony and just sit by heavy because it's going to spawn so quickly and just spam spiders everywhere. I did that. I got a couple kills. I looked at my progress and saw that it was almost minuscule, like percentage, like
0.1%.
Those are grenade kills, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not committing to that." I left it.
I got no time for this shit.
You best go into competitive to do it, man. Honestly, you best go into competitive and use fighting line and shit like that. Iron Banner Increased Valor begins December 25th, 2018, ends on January 1st, 2018. So if you can break away from your family, if you can break away from the alcohol-infused political fights and bullshit that happens around Christmas.
If you can tear yourself away from the leg of ham that you are going to be steadfastly devouring for that week.
If you can tear yourself away from the brandy, from the 1 kilogram of brandy butter you've been eating with a fucking tablespoon for the last 6 hours to play some Destiny, then come play some Iron Banner for the Increased Valor.
Yeah, I'll be there. I love Banner. Sloth's frozen again.
Awesome.
It's good. It makes you look like you're in deep thought. All right, well, that wraps up the TWAB. There is another section in the TWAB that's basically all the rats and mice issues that they're going through looking to fix, but honestly, we'd be talking for another 40 minutes about it.
Oh, maybe just Eva's return, because I know there's a thing about the
We'll cover that. We'll cover
yeah,
that. Don't worry about the law. Don't worry about the law.
What you should what you shouldn't do with the oven. What you shouldn't do with the oven.
Oh, there's a few things that you shouldn't do with the oven.
You shouldn't masterwork the oven just yet.
Yeah. Well,
basically,
you
should not masterwork.
You just need to get the edge transit. So, like, don't. There's obviously all the baking guides are up there. So just make sure you make one mistake and get the edge transit.
I love this so much. I really do. I have gotten so much joy, and this is so. It's just weird, but I have gotten so much fucking joy from just hunting down the materials from hunting down the materials and just baking shit for the NPCs in the tower. I'm having so much fun doing it. Look, Cooking
Really?
Mama Destiny Edition. It's so much fucking fun.
This is.
Well,
I'm gonna
what do you
just
guys
quickly.
think about? What do you guys think about this carrying over into a crafting system? Because that's what I've been hearing. It was like
it's
obviously this is like just fun version, but I've heard a lot of people going to me like, "Wait, would this like why don't we have crafting in Destiny?"
Look,
personally,
it's a really fucking rudimentary kind of introduction to that sort of system, right? But I'm with Sloth in that I have really enjoyed just making people cookies, and it's like I'm just interrupting my schedule of being a fucking spaceborn horrible fucking rod of lightning that fucks everything up to just bake some people some cookies and celebrate. Just too wholesome.
You know, I found this out the other day, and not through talking to Mylon, actually. I was talking to Winky. Is that Ada 1, we used to know Guardians by another name, Warlords.
Mhm.
And now these Warlords are just being really fucking wholesome and baking vector snickerdoodles for fucking Zavala in the tower.
I do enjoy the
names.
names. I do enjoy the names. I enjoy the fan art that's coming away from.
Oh, it's great.
Like,
it's so
you
fun.
see the Cabal oil one with like just a naked Cabal and someone like.
Yeah, and Eva
buttering.
Levante just like. I mean,
And then,
that's the part of it that's really weird and kind of morbid when you think about it, is that we're going around murdering things and like taking their remains and baking them into treats for people.
yeah, and then like the taken butter as well.
and they're the monsters in this universe.
Oh, mate, I know who the monsters are. There's never been an illusion about that.
No, I know.
And then people were asking me like, why is the oven blessed with the traveler's light? It's something that's super over the top. It's like, take this oven imbued with the traveler's light or something. I'm like, this oven's like the most powerful object in the Destiny universe. You can bake cookies out of the remains of the enemies of the darkness.
Would you eat a cookie made out of Cabal oil? Like, I'd probably give it
I can't really say that I do, because what's the Cabal oil? They live in pressurized suits.
Yeah,
they are
it's like
turtles that live in pressurized suits.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's basically like gooch sweat? It's probably
it's fucking swamp ass gooch sweat and fucking and oh my lord.
Anyway, Eva's back. Hooray!
Yeah, it's good to have Space Grandma back, isn't it?
Space Grandma, yeah.
I was worried about her. We knew she was coming back, so it's been sort of telegraphed in the lore for a bit.
It's wholesome that we're cooking this stuff, but it's kind of frightening that we are, like, you look at it on the other side, that controlling their area, and then you see these Guardians coming up on this fucking massive sleigh scooter. They're like, "Ning, ning, 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 ning," and they rock up and they start shooting everyone. The Hive are like grabbing their children and running for their fucking holes. Run! We're gonna be eaten.
They're gonna harvest our oil to make cookies. Ah!
Yeah, can someone please draw that? Just a taken child and a taken family just running in terror from festive Guardians riding their sparrow sleighs
that are just spilling fucking glimmer out the back, like without a care in the world. Just
what we
murdering.
see out of our gut.
Sorry, Slothy, you cut out there again, mate.
What we see out of our Guardians' eyes is this sugar-infused haze of Christmas cheer and all that sort of thing. But what they see is like sleigh scooters that are just covered in blood and guts and shit, and like we're just drooling at them, just like, "Come here, I'm gonna eat your fucking leg," like, all that sort of thing.
Oh, fucking hell. I guess the other big talking point is the and you can talk about this a little bit, Matt, because you made a video on it through the week, much to my surprise. It's probably a good one leading into Christmas for you, actually, that it's just a stupid departure from everything, all the serious shit you're normally talking about. But what's it called? What's the name of the Grimoire card? I can't remember off the top of my head.
The new one or the old one?
No, the new one, the Shaxxy one. The one with the...
I can't remember the name.
I think it's like Upon a Dawning or something like that.
Yeah. It's a new card that you get for baking the cookies for Shaxx, and Shaxx is basically asking for advice from Eva Levante about if he's got a good present for Marasov. And he's got a compound bow with a bow on it. And so we were talking about it on stream, and we had Gamma Trap jaw Shaxx in an ugly sweater with a Christmas hat on, with a compound bow with a bow on it, in like a postcard, like kind of a Christmas postcard fashion. It's pretty funny. So I thought, like, I never covered the helmet stayed on because, for those who don't know, Marasov literally summoned Shaxx using an armed Kara for a booty call, and you probably don't consider it as a serious Grimoire card, but if you do, it's like she summoned an outsider to the most sacred place in the Awoken history to using a wish dragon to like read
the Tempest.
The Tempest, right? And the helmet stayed on, and it's sort of like, do we take this seriously? Like, and now we've got Shaxx buying presents for Marasov, so like, do we take it seriously? Is this proper canon?
And they shagged all night long.
Oh,
yeah.
God. God, I didn't need that fucking visual. The other funny part of it is that, like, when she asked him to read the Tempest, and he fucking destroys head with lightning and then recites it from heart, and then he's like, "Should I buy her a book?" to Eva Levante. And he's like, "Oh, I destroyed a book of hers once." And she's like, "Maybe don't remind her of that." I'm like, Shaxx is the everyman in the tower. He's a clueless fucking idiot when it comes to love. And it's probably the most relatable thing I've seen in Destiny yet.
It absolutely is.
Okay, so this is what I need. Okay, Bungie, if you're listening, this is what I need. There's a couple options. A, when Marasov's realm opens again, and as you enter the realm, I want there to be an Easter egg in there, and I want there to be a compound bow with a bow on it, just against the wall or something in the corner, and that's a little nod that Shaxx delivers.
Imagine. No, hang on. Imagine if she's just sitting there, just looking at it, just going, and she looks up and goes, "Oh shit!" and just tosses it off the edge. It just bounces off there. She goes, "Oh."
Just piffs it into eternity, into the throne world. Or B, what should have happened is when we give a cookie to Shaxx, he gives us the compound bow with a bow on it as an item, and next time we go into the throne world, we gotta give Mara the bow.
Okay, I'm just gonna read this out because this is fantastic. Kai in the live chat. Kai,
I'll bring up the chat. Sorry, I meant to do
one of the very fantastic dudes from my community and my current D&D DM. This was brought up in our clan Discord recently. The voice actor's favorite Shaxx line does an unreleased line, but soft. What light through yonder window breaks? I am the East, and I am the Crucible.
I don't know. I mean, he's kind of the one character that I didn't see having a stupid side at all, because he's so straight up and down, like the violence, power.
But it is getting that way, because what about the new Mayhem lines? Arsight, bringing me my haggis. No, they're bullets. Screw it, I'll get it myself. Like, that's like. That line right there, I've seen screenshots of that line, and it's just fantastic. Like, he's just like, A, they know what haggis is. B, Shaxx wants a goddamn hanger, so he has to feed it through his helmet. Like he has to open up his helmet mouth slit and go, nom, nom.
Well, you've thought about that from a way, way weird perspective. Anyway, that's cool. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like last year's Dawning was a bit of I wasn't too into it. It wasn't this. This, for whatever reason, has come around, and I think it's a combination of, Destiny's in a better place, and that's fine. It's coupled with a content release in the Black Armory, and just the wholesome baking of cookies, and just this kind of, we've entered this sort of silly season of. I'm just stoked with it at the moment, and I know that's sort of the sort of thing that I would eye roll at normally because it's a bit like, microtransaction-y and things like that. But whatever, I'm in. I'm sold.
Speaking of the microtransactions, we haven't seen like Festival of the Cost and the Dawning and Crimson Days and all that sort of thing. This Dawning haven't been overly prevalent.
Yeah, I don't know.
They actually have not been overly prevalent.
Really even look, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you remember like the first Festival of the Cost in Destiny 2. It was just microtransactions.
Yeah, it was really heavy. Yeah,
it was very heavy, very in your face. And this one, like it's there, but it's. Like when I go to Tess Everest to hand in those bright engrams and all that sort of thing, I legitimately I go there, I mindlessly pick on it, watching the right hand side, and I got the fucking. So you want to talk about Captain America emote? And I was like, oh yeah, fantastic. But like that's legitimately all it is. Like I don't pay attention to it whatsoever. And it's not been.
Like that, yeah, I mean, that's probably a fair way of looking at it. Like, really, the only things that I'm really concerned about getting out of Eververse anyway are like maybe one or two emotes, or the burnout, the sparrow that I got to drop. That's the basically Ghost Rider's flaming
Ghost Rider. It's fucking fantastic.
Me and Chook are starting a gang, like straight up and down. We're just gonna roll around in the EDZ and just watch people do stuff without being helpful. Just anti-social shitheads. But
just you got the packet of cigarettes rolled up underneath your armor, and you're just like,
all black armor. just
yeah.
So what do we think now? We're a week further along with Black Armory. Like, what are our thoughts now on?
I think it's really turning out to be and more of an onion than people thought. In that there's layers, like Shrek.
It's a very, very slow burn.
It makes you cry.
It's a very shut the fuck up. It's
it weren't two ways to take that. Sorry.
It's a very
analogy ever.
It's a very, very slow burn, and kudos to those who didn't play 4 hours of it and then go and write up a half-cocked fucking review on a major news distribution website. Forbes.
Oh my
God. People have stuck with it, which is really, really, really awesome. I'm really it's a slow burn, and I'm liking it. I don't have to play Destiny. Destiny, but I do. When I do, there's stuff there.
I've been like, I've never been on the fence more with any other topic than like Black Armory, and it's sort of like I think it's just adjusting to what a season is, because like when I think about Black Armory, I'm like, there's nothing specific. Like I know there's forges, but it's not like anything that really stands out. It's just more stuff to do of what we've done before. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you like that, you're gonna like Black Armory. But like Black Armory, and this is how it's meant to be. There's nothing standalone. It can't stand by itself. It is just adding to what we had in Forsaken. It is, and it's season. And I just think like my brain's still slowly catching up to that like expectation. Like, okay, this is what a season looks like. And, from, the other comments that I'm hearing, the people that really do like the grind, that they have been grinding the forges for those like random rolls, for those hand cannons, like especially the hand cannon or the sniper rifle, with the random perks on it. And so, that's cool. Like I haven't been doing that because I don't have that kind of level of dedication.
But it's
people
the
like that.
content is there to grind if you want to grind it. Like, you don't have to purchase it. You're still getting the same power increase if you don't purchase it. You're just missing out on playing the forges. You know, as
that's
far
not
as
a huge miss. I don't think people are missing out on a lot right now for
you're
that.
really
and,
not. It's
and
just
you could
it's an
easily
extension.
grind until you could hold off until you want to do the raid, basically. I think, unless you want the weapons.
Yeah, true.
No,
I mean,
that's
I think
right.
the thing with this content release, and that's what we'll call it or whatever, because it's is that, I mean, no one, I mean, especially the Destiny community, but no one likes drastic change. It leaves people feeling confused and a bit powerless, and I think that was probably the reaction that we saw. I think this kind of content going forward, once we get to the end of the Black Armory sort of content release and we understand what the full picture is, when we come into, the season of the Drifter and we get this kind of, it's going to be much less harsh in terms of criticism, because people will understand that shit in 3 weeks I'm going to have, there'll be a heap of shit to do. Like looking back at it now, and I still understand that there's a part of the gaming, this game's community, that does want the story stuff in it. But for me, I'd have blasted through that in the first night and then be on to whatever I'm doing now anyway. So it doesn't add any repeat value. And I think this is where that grind, what Matt's talking about, with people being able to just get in there and do what they love doing, hang with their mates, play the game indefinitely, and have something to be striving for, even though it's not completing a story or anything like that. I think it's really fucking important. And I think, I mean, if it continues to go this way, it's going to be good for the game.
It's a very interesting conundrum, is that some people really don't like it, and that's okay. But like I said, they didn't go off and write a half-cocked, stupid fucking review. And trust me when I say I'm going to bring that up as many times as possible. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But the one thing that I just realized, and people may have come to this conclusion a little bit a while ago because they're not, half asleep morons like myself half the time, is that it's the Forge gives you endgame. You can't do that with Nightfall. Can't do that with a raid, not in game anyway. And it gives you a chance to get some really decent gear and all that sort of thing, without doing the raids. Because some people, I know some people in my community who have never done the fucking raids before, like none of them.
I think, I think that's. I know that it's not for everyone, but man, like Destiny's raid, we were talking about this the other night, and we were like, what raids have they ever done that are bad? Like, what raid sucked? None. Ever. I mean, you could argue that probably Crota was too short and it was more of a, like a really big strike. But at the same time, you look at that in the context of sort of the way Scourge of the Past is geared to be a little bit more casual and less time heavy than Wish, and you get this variety, this like smorgasbord of different types of endgame.
Absolutely.
And like, I mean, I'm not a mad raider. That's immediately apparent the second you hear the three of us start talking about, we are hanging on to people's bootlaces to get through some of this shit. But I don't think there's anything like, even, I mean, I've been at Riven fine like heaps of times now, but I still go, like the bit where you're dropping down past this giant fucking monster. And it was a moment the other night when I was like, man, that's fucking cool. Like, I'm sure that wears off after a while, but to not be able to experience that, I think is a shame. And I don't think they're ever going to bring in matchmaking for it, to be honest. I think that would be absolute suicide.
Well, there's guided games, but how many people use guided games? Like, legitimately. If you watch the podcast, if you watch the podcast and if you actually do use guided games, please tweet at the podcast or tweet at me, Matt, Log.
Yeah, actually, I'd be interested in hearing about that.
I would like to know if you guys actually use guided games, because I when I said what I said before, I actually forgot that it's not matchmaking per se, but it gives you an in-game accessibility to more players. So please let me know. Please let us know on the podcast, in the comments below on YouTube, or add us on Twitter and let us know, please and thank you.
With like Black Armory though, I think like I don't have any issues with the Forge, but I almost feel like with a season pass, whatever that activity is to grind needs to, I think, needs to be a little bit more than just like a Forge. Like maybe not a dungeon, but like I don't know. I'm sort of thinking like something in between a dungeon and a Forge because the Forge is like, I don't know, they don't really add really any excitement for me. Like it's doesn't feel anything new. And maybe that's fine for a season, but I almost feel like it would be cool if it was a little bit closer to a dungeon, a little bit more challenging, or at least like maybe 2 encounters or like something that you progress in just to give it a bit more freshness.
I
Just
think
because we've
even
seen Forge like activities in every release of that. Court of Oryx. What was the one with Siva called? Was that a Forge? Archon's Forge. It was a Forge.
Archon's Forge.
Archon's Forge. Escalation Protocol is arguably pretty similar as well. So it's like,
I actually think of all of those things that you've just mentioned, Escalation Protocol was by far and away the best.
I think so.
And I think that, I mean, having 9 people all that are mates in there doing it, we've spoken about this before, that was fun, but I kind of like the cycle of it too. And I'm not sure like that there's anything that'll mirror that in the Black Armory, but where,
she rotates on the
rotates
on the weapon. Yeah, she does because Ada rotates on the weapon blueprint, whatever they're called, the weapon blueprints that she has.
Yeah, but does that change the encounters? It just gives you another thing to grind.
No, it doesn't change the encounter.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
It just gives you what to grind for.
Yeah.
Well, a valid point there, Mr. Dino Games in the live chat. Blame the vocal majority who keep going on and 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 on about we want horde modes. Like we've said, and we've said this on multiple occasions. I've said
he's cut
on the podcast. The Destiny community does not know what the fuck it wants.
Yeah.
All I want.
No, it does. It's just there's lots of communities within Destiny.
There is lots of
different stuff.
Yeah, there are niche communities everywhere, and everyone's fighting against each other. I just want Bungie to make the best Destiny, and I'm tying into a rant that Log did a few weeks ago. I just want Bungie to make the best Destiny for Destiny. Like nothing else. I don't want them to implement anything else from any other games. And we'll see how that happens with many games coming out in the next 6 months. We've got Division in March as well, I think. I think it's even in the same week as Division 2. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if Bungie keep with the path of just making the best Destiny that they can, or whether it's going to be trying to implement things from other games to just build this amalgamation, which I hope they don't do.
I don't think they will, man. I don't think they will. I can't honestly see them going, shit, we need to start taking cues from other games. If they did that, we'd have a fucking Battle Royale mode by now.
We'd have a fucking Battle Royale, yeah.
Hey, here's an interesting thought, though. Like, with the way seasons are going, for those guys who've gone really hard, you can get, people are already at 650 right now, right? People or have done the majority of the content, just waiting for the last Forges to come out. They've done the raid at least, or they've done, maybe they're not max, but they've done the content in there. It's interesting now, like, Destiny's going to have competition next year. And I think you could almost say there's an argument for not having a hardcore game, because if something's too hard, you'd be like, well, I don't have enough time to play Anthem, the Division, and Destiny. But if season passes are like manageable, and you like, for those hardcore guys that get in there, they get it done in like, the first whatever weeks, and then they're going to Division, they go on to Anthem, and they get all the other stuff done. Like, it's going to be interesting to see when Destiny has some really sort of good competition in that sort of genre space.
As I just typed in chat, I think it's less opposition and more parallels.
See, it's funny because like you guys, I hear you guys talking, like I respect the fact that Anthem sort of in setting and maybe tone is going to be very comparable to Destiny in a way, but the thing I can't get past is we keep comparing Destiny to fucking third person shooters. Like, and for me,
I think it's more the genre.
I get that. I get that this is a
like
sci-fi thing and the loot and shoot thing, but for me, like one of the biggest things that Destiny has and will always have is that Bungie fucking sandbox, man. Like that.
Yeah.
The gunplay is like I can go and play COD, and I'm like, man, this is shit. Like it just feels like, like I don't know, I don't get it. I was raised on Halo, so that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying for me, it's like I don't. It feels really jilted and fast, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
I feel really bad. I gave up Red Dead just using a controller and how clunky that combat system is. I'm like, I know there's a good game here, but like I can't.
Yeah, it is. We were talking about this the other night.
I can't stand this cover lock on system. Like this is killing me. And I was like, I'm sure it's a great story here, but I couldn't hack it, man. So I assume you're saying. Like,
and that's why I'm waiting for it to come out on PC.
I was like, this would be amazing if it was on PC.
Although
this system sucks right now.
GTA on PC, I remember playing it on PC. Even the controls there were clunky, so it's probably going to be more of the same, honestly.
I think it's one of those things that there's that much shit in that game and that many different nuances to it and sub-engines and sub-control sets, like the fighting system, the gunplay system, the fucking duel system. Like there's a shitload crammed into it, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to have this sound disparaging, but it's kind of like nothing gets given the sheer focus that it probably deserves because there's so many things going on. Now, admittedly, the story and everything's incredible, but I do understand what Matt's saying. Like, whoever came up with the idea that you need to repeatedly tap A to sprint, cut your thumb off. I know you can disable it. I've disabled it, but for fuck's sake. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well. Speaking of new games coming out, the Game Awards happened the other week as well. I can't remember if we talked about it last week or not. Did we? I can't remember.
Was this the Australian ones or the?
No. The actual Game Awards.
Oh, right.
They played a lot of trailers for and all that sort of thing. Best game, the game of the year went to God of War, if I remember correctly, which is very, very muchly warranted. Apparently, it was a fantastic game. I watched it a few times, and the story was good. The combat was really fun, and
it was very well received. Yeah.
Yeah, very well received. Outer Worlds, yes, thank you, Ads, for Outer Worlds.
Yeah, that was looking cool.
One of the trailers that came out of the Game Awards was Outer Worlds, built by developed. Obsidian did the original Fallout series.
Yep.
And they did they developed Fallout New Vegas. And they made sure that was in the title trailer, just to say a little bit of a fuck you to Bethesda, which was really, really fantastic.
You're a cynical shit of a man.
I am a cynical shit of a man, I know. But it looks really good. It looks really, really good, like fully voiced and something that you would see from Obsidian. Like my favorite Fallout of all time, New Vegas. And I really like the original ones, but Fallout New Vegas was very, very well written, even with the creation engine that is as old as the fucking hills at the moment. But it looks good. It looks really, really good. I'm actually very excited to give that
some
a go.
exciting games on the horizon. That's for sure.
But yeah, anything, guys. Dragon Age is Fallout meets Borderlands. Exactly, Zane. Exactly. Yeah, Fallout meets Borderlands, which is nice. Like I'm not sure.
It had a very familiar aesthetics, yet new. It was one of the things like you watch it and you're like, wait, have I seen this game? Do I know this game? And then it's like, oh, it is a new IP, but it's got some, like, the assets feel very familiar, even though it's like feels familiar, but it's also new.
Now, just a reference to Jumir. Thank you for hanging out in the live chat, by the way. From what I saw of Anthem, it looked more like a Warframe style competitor. I only watched the vid for a little bit though. After playing it and comparing it now, I can't speak directly about the gameplay because of the NDA. But Warframe and Anthem, chalk and cheese. Apples and bricks from a housing commission block next door. They're third person, yes, but the speed is different. I'd actually go a mix between Gears of War and
Well, it's more like closer to Division, right? Like
yeah,
speed-wise.
Gears of War and Division. But I wouldn't say it's Warframe. It doesn't control like Warframe. It doesn't play like
Anthem's-
Warframe.
Anthem's impressed me so far, to be honest.
It really has, yeah.
Yeah.
We
We might have to be Anthem. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to see it's gonna be Australian Anthem when we cover Anthem.
Science fiction games down under.
Looting, you fucking looting goblin down under. Loot goblin down under.
Well, we'll let you know if anything happens over the New Year's break, guys. But I'm excited for Anthem. I'm going to play Anthem. I am going to play Division 2. I'm less excited about carving up content. Yeah, you can only get the biggest stash size if you buy the top tier edition. So that's just
I'm not jumping into Division.
more
2.
Ubisoft, but I'm going to play it.
Man, I still my issues with the Division are still the same as they were with Division 1. I shouldn't have an AK-47 and have to shoot a dude in a fucking puffy jacket 600 times to kill him, and it just pisses me off.
That's exactly. Literally is like the aesthetic of it just doesn't appeal to me, and that's the only reason I'm not playing the Division.
If it was a bit like Ghost Recon Wildlands that didn't have that number system, like if you had a silenced pistol and hit someone in the head who wasn't didn't have a helmet on, guess what? The motherfucker would fall over. I reckon that would make the Division. I reckon that would make the Division so much better because they do the same damage to you as you do to them. Then you can focus on builds. I don't know. It's like it is what it is. And there was something else, but I can't remember what it is. So it is what it is.
I've got no hope, man. I'm not going to be able to help you remembering anything today because I can't.
My memory is fucking rubbish.
All right. Well, we might wrap up. What do you reckon?
I think that's a good one. That's a really.
I think we're done, like dinner.
Casual Sunday, Sunday podcast.
It's a bit of a different vibe. I'm gonna go and have dinner.
Oh, can I say something? Have you guys seen Enter the Spideyverse?
Dude, how cool does that shit look?
Dude,
it does.
Fuck it. Okay, just to end on this, right? Like, I almost tweeted about it, and I don't tweet about anything that's not Destiny lore-based or like, I very rarely tweet out any other, like, this, you need to see this movie. This is like, me and Danny left the cinema, and we're like, I think that's my favorite movie of all time. Like, that was amazing on just everything about it. It was so good. It was beautiful. It was funny. It was well written. The characters were amazing. The voice acting was awesome. Like, you will not be disappointed to go see Spider-Verse.
Do you reckon I'm going to take
because that covers
kids? Like how
Peter Miles Morales, doesn't it?
Peter Parker and who?
Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Dude,
I might give it a look.
It's really worth going to see.
That was even in the cartoon sort of did that tangent maybe 2 years ago. And it's that storyline. It goes through about 10 episodes of just going through the different. It's fucking awesome. So, man, I'm going to go see that. That and How to Train Your Dragon's coming out too. I love those movies.
Oh, yeah. How to Train Your Dragon 3.
I love
Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that. Can you tell? Can you tell two of us are dads and the other one is just a young fella that just loves Pixar movies?
Pixar movies are my jam, man. I love that
fucking
shit.
I took Isla to the cinema to see the second How to Train Your Dragon, right? And she was, she would have been about 6 or something at the time, so she was maybe 5. Like, when did that come out? That was fucking ages ago.
She would have been 5.
She was probably a little bit young for it, given that there's some fairly heavy action scenes in it. But fuck, man, like where Stoic dies, I was crying. I'm like, I'm never fucking coming to this. Like, this is bullshit. This is embarrassing. Like, it got
You know
me.
what? If I used to make the excuse, I'm taking the girls to see this movie because I really like it. And they're 13 now, so the movies that I like and the movies that they like cross rarely. But I've come to the conclusion that I don't give a fuck if I tear up in the fucking cinema. I don't give a shit. I'm going to sit there with my popcorn and my fucking large fucking liter of cola, and motherfucker, I am going to tear up and cry in my goddamn
I'll tell you
beer.
what, I'll make
I
you
don't
promise,
give a
Sloth.
shit.
I'll make you promise. If something sad happens in this one, I will unashamedly cry at the top of my lungs. Like, you know that video of the dude?
Yeah, ugly crying.
Yeah, I'll be just ugly crying everywhere, man. Don't you touch Toothless. I'll fucking cry.
We are assigning everyone's homework. This week you must either A, watch a Pixar movie, or B, go see Spider-Man. Either one. That's your homework, chat. We'll report next week. Okay?
All right. Hang around. We'll raid into someone, but it's been a pleasure.
Ladies.
Slothy, sign the
Ladies and
fuck
gentlemen,
off.
thank you. Thank you very, very much for hanging out. If you're in the live chat, or as always, even if we do change up the times at this crazy time of year, thank you very much for hanging out. If you're on YouTube or listening on Podbean, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, queries, doubtful points, let us know in the comments below, or at us on Twitter at DDU_podcast, at Mylan Games, at LogPowerSlave, at Real Time Sloth. Make sure you check out Matt's streams. He streams on YouTube. Let him know on find out his schedule on his Twitter. If you want to come check out Log, he doesn't stream.
I can't. Well, I mean, I was thinking about getting back into it, and then I realised that I have to wear pants. So, not heaps sold. Anyway.
Thank you for all the follows and all that sort of thing, guys. We will catch you next week at some point, and subscribe bell thing. If you've made it this far into the podcast, just type something along the lines of
I type get DDoS, bitch.
Get DDoS, bitch.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. The law's slowly coming. I'm sure it'll be here soon.
The law is turning into Marasov and fucking Shaxx aggressive sexual fan fiction. That's the fucking law. Anyway, bye.
Bye.